behind us and exists. There's more to what we see. Let's sit down, talk about it. Let's just call it P.O.T, P.O.T, yeah. Let's call it P.O.T, P.O.T, yeah. Let's call it P.O.T.
Pontification of Thought podcast.
We rolling. What's up, P.O.T heads? Check it out. Today I got a good one for you guys. I got my boy Oscar Cuchillo Carvajal right here. This guy is a well-known comedian. He's been doing his thing all over Chicago. If you don't know about him yet, you gotta know him. You wanna like introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, what's up, man? My name is Oscar Carvajal, and I'm a comedian. I do stand-up comedy in Chicago since 2014. I've done all the venues that you could think of: Laugh Factory, Zanies, whatever. The Improv, every venue. I've at least done one show in all of the venues.
Right.
And I've actually done shows like even at places like the House of Blues and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, where did you do the special?
The special I recorded, the new one I recorded at a new comedy club that's Oak Park. Check it out, man. I like it's called the Comedy Plex. It's right on Oak Park. It's right on Lake in Harlem. And there's three owners. They all are, at least two of them were former comedians.
Oh, shit.
And the other one is I think he's still active.
Yeah.
And they're both real funny, and they both all three of them, they bought the comedy club, and so I like them a lot because since they were actually comedians.
Yeah,
You know, they know what it takes to like what the comedians want at a comedy club. Like they know how to treat a comedian really good. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Because some motherfuckers they don't really care.
No, I mean,
just be like, hey, fuck it, go do your shit, and I'm gonna make my money from it.
no, exactly, and they don't know what it's like, you know, and you know, having that kind of power over people's dreams, that creates a lot of egos, you know, because like you got these clubs like, and I don't want to say that the owners are bad necessarily, but they were never comedians. They have power over so many people's dreams. It's like every comedian in the city wants to do the Laugh Factory regularly,
Right.
and so they get a chance to tell 80% of the people, no, you can't, because I already have my 20% of the people, and those 20% of the people, a lot of them are just kissing ass. A lot of them are, you know, so it's difficult, man. The power trip that these bookers and the
But like I've been seeing that like you get up a lot, bro. Like
yeah, no, well, yeah, I mean,
I see you get up a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, there's all types of different comedians, dude, and I want to say. There's more natural comedians when it comes to just being on stage and not being shy.
yeah,
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not one of them. If I don't get up a certain amount of times, like if I'm not up constantly,
yeah.
I can't turn it again. Like I feel rusty. I feel shy.
It's like a fucking rhythm, right?
Yeah, it's like a rhythm. It's like a rhythm. So I need to stay on stage as often as possible.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was really shy. So when I first started, I was on stage like 5 times a week.
When did you start?
I started in 2014.
2014.
But I started doing open mics. That's how I started. I didn't get my first show till I was 8 months in.
Oh.
So for 8 months, all I did was open mics.
Yeah.
Just going around the city, different open mics, meeting people. And
you already like writing like a whole fucking thing, or you were just writing?
well, no. So when you do open mics in comedy, it's only 4 or 5 minutes. Now I'm seeing they're doing a lot of 5-minute ones. When I started, it was like a lot of 4 minutes and even 3 minutes.
But they gotta be like tight.
Yeah, so I remember I googled there used to be a page where they had all the open mics on it in the internet, and I googled the open mic that I wanted to go to, and I learned how many minutes they did, and I wrote twice that. So if it was like 4 minutes, I wrote 8, and then when I was on stage, I did that. So that's what I had at the beginning. Of course, all of those 8 minutes were probably super bad.
Yeah.
But you don't know that,
But
right?
that's pretty smart though. Like
Yeah.
you were like fuck it, if just in case
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fucking prepared.
And especially when you like when comedy, a lot of it is like you go in with a plan, like okay, I'm gonna do 10 minutes. I'm gonna do these 4 jokes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the middle of your set, you have to adjust. You realize people are not liking these kind of jokes, or you know, or your joke is going too long because people are loving it, you know, stuff like so. So a lot of comedy, especially on stage, it's adjusting.
Right.
So and that takes years. That takes I want to say like 2-3 years for you to get at that point where like okay, like I'm gonna do good no matter what because I have this material. But if this is not working, I already know what to do at the moment. You know.
Right, because there's people that have like talent and shit, and they might be funny, or even with music, like they got something good, but when they get on stage, it's like when you're on stage, it's a different thing. You know, like it's a whole different feel when, especially
Yeah.
when you see all these eyes looking at you, and
Of
you're like,
course. Yeah. Of course.
and
No, it used to be.
and yeah, but like you already seem pretty comfortable with, but
Well, yeah, I've been doing it
like you've
10
been doing
years,
it for
but I
yeah,
want to say, especially when I watch videos, because I have them. I like the world probably hasn't seen them, but I have them. The videos from like my first year, it's cringy, bro. It's cringy how nervous I was, how fast I talk, and in my real life I talk fast.
yeah.
So even in the stage I was even faster.
Oh,
But now on stage I talk way slower than in my real
yeah,
life, because it just depends. You gotta know when to speed up a punchline, when not to, and stuff like that.
yeah,
But yeah, like you could definitely, when you see newer comedians, you can see a nervousness in them. Like even if they're saying funny things, sometimes the audience detects like the nervousness, and they don't like
and they get uncomfortable, right?
yeah, they get
Yeah, yeah,
uncomfortable. So even if yeah, so sometimes I remember that
yeah.
like people just being like, oh, they're just nervous, like they're saying funny things, but they gotta slow down. They gotta look people in the eyes or look, because
Like at what year you think you found your voice?
man, that's because I'm not exactly sure what finding your voice means. Okay,
Well, like oh, well,
because there's a lot of
like
people that
your
say that.
rhythm, you're like your,
The I think it took me like to say like I said 8 9 months to start writing good. I
okay,
think the first 8 to 9 months. I'm not saying everything I wrote was garbage, but when nothing was good enough to worth keeping. I think I only do one joke for my first 9 months that I
yeah,
still every now and then I'll do. Um, from there, it took me maybe like a year and a half for the people, the comedians in Chicago to start noticing me.
mm,
And that's when I started getting booked regularly. And when you start getting booked regularly, because open mics, a lot of them in Chicago are garbage
okay,
because it's just you and other comedians.
yeah, and it's not like people,
Yeah.
what
So
like
so
it's
people are not enjoying it. People are thinking about their set. They're
and
thinking
other
about
comedians are probably like, yeah, that was fucking
yeah,
funny.
yeah, no, they're thinking about their jokes, or they're thinking, I know him, he's my friend, I'm gonna laugh at him, or I don't know him, stuff like that. So, but
Right.
so open, and that's like 90% of them. So you have to adjust at that, like you have to know what you're going to the open mic for. Like if you're going there to kill, it's probably not a place. So when you start getting booked, you finally start doing comedy in front of just audience members, right?
Yeah.
So I think that took me like 2 years since I started. So like in
So like
2016,
in 2 years, you started like getting in front of
yeah,
people.
so I say in 2016 is when I started getting booked regularly around Chicago, and maybe like another year later where I feel like, okay, now I'm finally a comedian. Like I can go to any room and not be scared and not be
Like I know I got some
intimidated. Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
not be intimidated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I remember that day that we did the show here, even if that would have been like my first year, second year, that would have intimidated me. And I
Yeah.
tell you where that would have intimidated. It would have intimidated me because 50%, 60% of the audience I already knew from years back, right? So it's like I'm basically telling jokes to like my family.
People that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's harder to tell jokes to people that you know. It's easier to do it to strangers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easier. Like even when I go to
Because you know you're not gonna see them
yeah,
again.
like and even when I go to a show nowadays, it's like if one of my buddies came or something, like and I'm on stage, like I know where he's at. You know what I'm saying? Like my whole mind is like I know where he's at, but now I'm better at like okay, I'm entertaining everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's weird. So it takes time for you to adapt to those situations, for you to be comfortable in those situations.
Yeah. But like when I saw your special, I was like, damn, like you already you could tell you've been doing this. I didn't know you were doing it for that long yet, but like I could tell like you already got your shit like going, like and I like that l- like there's a way some comedians have a way where they're saying their joke and shit, and you already know what they're about to say, or you kind of like tell where the punchline is gonna come through. And when I was listening to your shit, the reason why I like your shit is because I when you come with the punchline, you're like, oh shit,
I mean, that's always been I think, like I said, comedians are I'm sure like musicians are the same way, rappers are like everyone has their strengths. my strength, I feel like, at least what people would tell me when I was younger, my strength was like the punchline writing. Like that part I had down since the beginning.
Right.
What I didn't have is the rest of the joke, like how to make it funny. Because I used to write jokes that were really long, and then they were just funny at the end. Like you can't
Mm.
do that as a comedian. You
Like
got
too much fucking
yeah,
setup.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. It's the
So
same with it is like the same with music,
yeah,
because when you're like writing a song or you or whatever, when you first start, like you'll say some dumbass shit at the beginning and then rhyme at the end, and it's not even it doesn't even go with what the fuck.
as long as it rhymes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Okay,
hey, motherfucker, it said pat and stab and
yeah.
whatever.
No, yeah, so that's what it is. So I had the punchline part down. It just now, if I do a 3-4 minute jokes, and it's not for me, it's for all comedians. When if you do a joke that's 3-4 minutes, you can't just have one punchline. You gotta have something at least a little
Right,
funny.
right.
Like at least every 20, 30 seconds, you're saying something at least a little
And a
funny.
few
Yeah,
tags,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
exactly. That people are like maybe they're not laughing out loud, but
when you like write that little
yeah, but it's
yeah.
keeping them interested in that yeah. But the original punchline writing, I feel like that was a strength of mine. Like I said, other people's strengths are they just go up on stage, and even if they're bad, they're not shy. And then
Yeah,
eventually, like 2-3 years later, you see them, and now they're good.
yeah,
But since the beginning, you could tell like they were not shy. They were just
right,
straight up,
yeah,
So everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses, I think.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know, some people have charisma, and and the material's not there yet, but that their charisma makes the jokes kind of work and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Of course they
and
do.
like
Yeah.
the you could tell the people. Sometimes I'm like, you know, because I love comedy, bro. I
Okay.
watch a lot of comedy. I like, you know, I'm whatever. But I'm not a comedian, but I do like
Mhm.
watch it a lot and shit. And sometimes I see somebody like he's not being funny, but like I guess in that room,
Mhm.
like the energy must be a way where he's using his you know.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you this about the level of comedy where I'm at. I'm like at a local scene level. So I'm not like selling out tickets like weekly or monthly like these big comedians that get the Netflix special and stuff like that.
Right.
So they will be on a higher level. So I mean I sold out a few shows, but like in my whole career that like people actually pay to see me.
Yeah.
Most of the shows I'm part of is like, hey, there's this Thursday show at this bar. The show is really good, and people don't directly go watch me. They go watch the show. So the show is good. It, it's because the producers were like, hey, we gotta get these people.
They put
But
the
the
right people
people,
together.
but so now the one you're talking about, what I see a lot is there's people that sell their own tickets and that they could headline. And people, when you're a fan of someone, when you
Mm,
have your own fans,
mm,
people are gonna laugh at your shit even if it's not that funny. So
mm.
that's why sometimes you see a lot of these comedians like they're funny, but you're like, man, they're not that funny, like
Yeah,
like
like it's not
but
like that constructive
yeah,
writing funny. It's like
but they have their fans in front of them,
yeah,
so they have a fan base, which is I think the thing that is really important. I'm sure in music and comedy, but in comedy, something nobody tells you when you start. You
mm,
figure it out later. Like you gotta build a fan base, because if you
yeah,
build a fan base, then the comedy clubs want to work with you because you're gonna fill up the club, and it's a
right,
business. The
right,
comedy clubs want to sell tickets.
that's like the only difference between like music and comedy, cause like music, I could just be in that room by myself,
Mhm.
working on the shit, doing the thing. For it seems like that for a comedian, you gotta be in front of people.
You gotta be in front of stage. You gotta be in the stage. I've had people that have told me stuff like, "Bro, I've been writing comedy for 2 years, bro. Like, I'm ready." And I'm like, "You're not a comedian. At least not a stand-up comedian. You could be some other type of comedian, but you're not a stand-up comedian until you step on stage,
Right.
right? Because that's where it's at. You have to, you think your shit is funny. You probably said it to your friends a little bit, but until you step on the stage and they give you a microphone and you're the center of attention and people are looking at you like, make me laugh, you're not a real stand-up comedian.
Right.
Because I've gotten this the whole time I've been doing comedy. I get this a lot because stand-up comedy and it's one of those things where even I thought about it before I started doing it. It's one of those things that just looks easy.
Yeah.
It looks
It
easy. It's like
does.
it's
It
just
does.
this guy talking, being funny. I talk with my coworkers at work and I'm funny. So I talk with
Yeah.
my boys and we crack jokes. I'm funny, so stand-up comedy looks easy.
Yeah.
But
But
until
it's
you
not.
get it and you
Yeah.
realize there's a difference between being funny in conversation and actually writing something out and being funny on stage.
And not only that, but like being able to say that shit here you go to this spot, now you go to the next spot, now you go to the next spot, and it's like you wrote the same joke and it still always fucking works.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're like.
No, yeah. I mean, it's yeah, it's different, and all types of comedy is different. I don't want to say stand up is the best type of comedy, but because you're a good sketch comedian, or because you're a good improviser, or because you're a good, I don't know or you're a good writer, you know how to write good jokes.
Have you ever done improv?
I've never done improv.
Would you?
I would like I'm there like oh like I've done a lot of improv shows where it's like three improv groups and three stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of improvisers too, just because of those shows.
Yeah.
A
So
lot
you
of
guys,
stuff.
do you guys meet a lot, or is
No,
it's
not
just
not a lot, not a lot. But you know what? A lot of improvisers got their startup as they start up as stand-ups, and a lot of stand-ups got their startup as
right?
improvisers. So they do mingle, they do talk, but there's kind of like an unwritten thing or like an unwritten rule where improvisers and stand-ups are supposed to think that their comedy's better, so they don't like the other one. So like, there's a lot of stand-up comedians that I know that can't stand improv. They're just like, oh, it's boring.
That's crazy, bro. Like, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's the things you don't know unless you do. Yeah,
right, like that's like you guys getting the underground stuff right now.
yeah.
But yeah, like that yeah, cause I
No, shit,
I did a little bit of like theater when I was in high school and shit,
Okay.
and the teacher was like she was into improv, so she was trying to make us do improv.
Yeah.
But she was fucking weird as fuck, bro. So like I was I was admitted, I was like
Improvisers are weird, dude. What can I say, bro?
now you gotta act like a giraffe, or like whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she's doing like some bullshit. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this shit. I'm still trying to. I still gotta see these people outside and shit.
No, yeah, it's weird. I mean, like I said, I've done a lot of shows with improvisers, and like the exercises they make them, because they make them warm them up.
Right.
Like, all right, keep the conversation going, but you can only use two words, and you're like, I was, and you're like, at
Sitting
the,
here.
store the other day. So it's weird. That's because stand-ups don't warm up, bro. We're just
I used to watch fucking Whose Line Is It?
okay, like that. Yeah. Well, those guys were improvisers. Yeah.
Those motherfuckers were funny though. They were good. They were
But that's what I think the world of improv, like the top echelon of improvisers, are really funny. It's just there's a lot of mediocre ones at this level. There's a lot of and stand up.
I think Robin Williams was like a
Yeah, he's
of-
one. He's
he was like a mixture of both.
as an
like-
improviser. I think he is the most respected improviser there ever was, probably, unless I'm forgetting one right now. He would also do stand up, but he wouldn't do like regular stand up. It was like he did like a lot of street jokes and
Right.
like, and
and he was like an
yeah,
unconscious shit,
and
but he
then-
was just flowing and flowing.
yeah,
and flowing.
yeah, and he was like his improvising was really good. His stand up, a lot of stand ups don't like him too because they accuse him of things, right?
I think- yeah,
I mean
yeah,
he's there, so I don't want to
yeah.
talk about that. But they accuse him like of stealing jokes and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and using street jokes. Stand ups don't like that when you use street
Yeah.
jokes. The only time that I've seen it where it's work is if you close with a street joke. Like, all right, I'm gonna go before I leave, and then you do like a knock knock, and then boom, and then you do the joke,
Boom.
right? And so that's what we consider street jokes, like, because stand up you're supposed to write everything yourself, right?
Right.
Only when you get in the big leagues, then people kind of understand. Like, he has to come up with a new hour every year, and that's almost impossible. So they kind of accept a little bit, like, all right, well, this famous person has two other writers, right?
Right.
But if you're not at that level where you have to come up with a new hour every year, people just take you as like you're not a real stand-up. You're not writing. You're not writing your material.
It looks like stand up. Well, from an outsider's perspective, it looks like stand up has been like evolving different. Cause like before it was like street jokes.
Mhm.
Like even in Spanish.
In
like,
Spanish,
it's mostly like
in Spanish,
sort of-
it's very. When I was growing up, it was all street jokes. I think.
all of it.
Yeah, it was all
comedians
street
will
jokes.
come
Yeah.
up, la la
Yeah.
la, this and that, el elefante, whatever.
Yeah.
The fuck.
The first stand-up I ever saw in Spanish that wasn't street joke was like Franco's Camilla, and this was like when I started like 10 years ago.
Right.
When he was coming up. Now there's a whole scene in Mexico City, bro.
Yeah.
And there's another one in Monterrey, and I'm sure there's one in Guadalajara
Yeah.
of just like stand-up comedians.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with like the comedians right now, like the Spanish
Okay,
comedians
yeah.
that much. But like I'm familiar with a lot of like the comedies like shit that's going on right now. I mean, maybe not as much as you, but like
No, I mean, I know. I mean, when I came into stand-up comedy, I realized that every other stand-up comedian that I was with or whatever, they all knew way more than me.
Right.
So, and I know, but I do know a lot for if I was like just a regular person. But you might know more than me. I don't know. Like I don't know everything on stand-up. Like
I'm just a fan, bro. Like I like writing. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
okay,
So when you hear a good ass joke and it's fucking written so
yeah.
fucking dope that it always makes you like when that Dave Chappelle killing me
Kill
softly,
Me Softly. That's like oh one
bro.
or
He
two around
had
that
a
time.
bunch of fucking
No, and Dave Chappelle is I mean, he was just a natural talent, bro. He started doing stand up when he was 14 years old, which is crazy because most of the famous people, yeah, they started young, but by young I mean early 20s, right?
Right, yeah.
But Dave Chappelle was yeah, he was crazy. He
How old
started
were you when you
me, I was 26.
26? That's still pretty
Yeah, I
hard.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
but
you're in the sweet spot, kind of like
yeah.
yeah.
So that's when I started. I wanted to do it since I was like 19, 20, but I never, it was I never got around to it. I don't know if it was shyness,
Who was the ones that you would like you looked up a little bit?
the ones that I or like,
I
well,
like that joke that Seinfeld, matter of fact.
yeah, no,
That's
well,
the
like,
Seinfeld one you told,
yeah,
bro. That shit was
well,
funny.
Seinfeld.
Was he one of the
I
ones?
I wouldn't say he was my big inspiration as a stand-up. I think he was good, like in the 90s,
Yeah.
in the 80s, he was good, but he more inspired me. The show inspired me more than him. Like I like the show more than him.
I didn't even like the show.
You didn't like the show?
I didn't know English,
Yeah,
bro.
you-
I didn't
no,
know.
and then
I was watching this shit. I was like, what the fuck is
no, then
the word? Because they use a lot of big words.
yeah,
And
no,
shit.
some of these American shows just don't translate well to Spanish.
Nah,
When
but when
especially
I
the
got
comedy
older
one.
though, when I got older and I learned English and I knew what the fuck they were saying, I was like, oh hell no, this is. And now I fucking watch it on repeat.
No, well, it's like the same thing with Spanish shows. Like for example, I grew up watching a lot of Derbez. I grew up watching like Familia Peluche.
That's one of the.
You
Yeah, I
you
forgot
think
about.
you,
Yeah.
you you would be you think La Familia Peluche would be like a hit in English? I don't think so. It just wouldn't translate.
The double entendres.
Yeah, it
They
wouldn't
don't work
translate.
in English because I try to explain jokes to my mom sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah.
Pues yo no,
The
sé.
translation, yeah, it's very hard to translate humor because you could
Right.
translate word by word, but yeah, they could mean different things, or but
Do you
yeah,
do sets in Spanish too?
I've done sets in Spanish,
Yeah. How
but
does that go? Like,
so before when I started, there was no place, no open mics in Spanish, no. So it was there was very little room to practice. So there will be people like, hey, let's do this show in Spanish. There's a lot of Mexican people in my neighborhood. Let's do this show in Spanish or whatever. And we will go and do them, and some of them will be really good. Some of them will be really bad. Like the people just
right.
like I'm like, you know what? These people came from Mexico 15
But they
years.
probably don't
Yeah,
have.
when stand up
somewhere
was
to
not a thing in
practice.
Mexico,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
or they expected us to be like the old school comedians, like Polo Polo or something like that, and we don't do that type of
Polo
comedy.
Polo was the shit.
Yeah, Polo Polo was the shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, man, I remember my uncle had his tapes and stuff like that. We used to
As a
listen to
little
him.
kid, bro, like,
Nah,
bro,
yeah,
you're not
correct.
supposed to listen to this shit. And then they ibas, and then your friends had some shit, and then y'all would bro, that shit was.
Nah, yeah, there was
That's when I
some.
kind of like, oh, all right, cool. And he wasn't street jokes.
No, well, some of them sound.
Some of them
It's because the thing is
turned
that
into street jokes.
some of them sound like street jokes. Just they.
Well, that's the evolution of
Yeah, I
like
mean,
comedy.
if,
That's what I'm saying.
if that
Like,
was
back in the day, they worried about making jokes
Uh-huh.
like that, and then later on, you could tell it changed. There was like
Yeah.
a shift. Maybe when prior, or maybe
Yeah.
a little before prior. Uh, that's when people started like writing about their own actual life and like
Yeah, I
about the truth.
mean, like I said, they sound like street jokes. If that was really Polo Polo's writing there, then he was a genius, because the jokes are
I know
good.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I feel like they just sound like street jokes, and even and I forgot the guy's name. He just came. He's still doing comedy. He just came. He's an older dude. He has like really long hair. Like I forgot his name right now at the moment.
Spanish?
Teo, his name is Teo Gonzalez, I think. He's been doing comedy for a while too, and his stuff is like, there's no way this is not street jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, he's hilarious, but there's no way that these are not street jokes. They're and just with their build.
What's your favorite Spanish street joke?
Famous Spanish street joke. I don't know. You put me on the spot, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, the Pepito jokes we told
Hey,
growing up, right?
the Pepito ones were the ones that
Yeah, well,
everybody.
that's when we told we were growing up,
Yeah,
right?
like those are the ones that like more everybody fucking knew and shit. Like,
Yeah, the Pepito jokes. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't remember. Like I said, now I haven't told a Spanish street joke in a while, right? Like, and then now sometimes I remember I heard this one joke and I told it in Mexico, and this was like 10 years ago because they were like, "Oh, tell us a joke." So I said the street joke, and then now it's like I see it in memes and shit. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean?
but
Like,
do you hate when like people come up to you like, hey, since you're a comedian, what's up? Dude, tell me a joke right now, shit.
yeah, I mean, it's not that you hate it. It's just that I'm not like I'm a comedian, but like I always tell people, I'm a stand-up comedian. You know, I'm not more of an expert than you on just regular street jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not more of an expert than you.
Mm.
I mean, you know,
Like,
you're not.
like I'm not in my scenery for me to be telling a joke right now.
Yeah,
Type of
no,
shit.
no, not
Like,
only that, you know, because then they come and they tell you a joke,
yeah.
because that's actually that's what they want. They want you to say a joke just so they can be like, all right, here's mine, you know, so they
Right, right,
so
right,
you
right,
could hear
right,
them,
right, right.
and that's fine if they want to. I mean, look, I I don't have like I won't say fans or stuff like that, like a lot. Like you know, I do have some people that follow me and that occasionally I'll see them on my shows, which I appreciate a lot. But like I always try to be nice to everyone, bro. So if you come up to me, you're like, hey, "Can I tell you a joke?" I'm probably gonna say yes. Like, okay, tell me a joke,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But
Let me see what you got.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I used to always say just the one. Can you tell me a joke? I used to just be like, a horse went into a bar. Um, and the bartender said, "Why the long face?" Right, and that's it. That's the whole joke.
There
But
you
that's
go.
it. Just be. I always used to tell that one just because it's quick.
Like a street joke.
Yeah, and that's a street joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So that's what I used to tell people when people used to ask me, just to get them off my back.
All right, cool thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, there will be motherfuckers like that. And motherfuckers like I'm talking about like ex gangbangers and shit. They be like, "Are you a comedian, bro?
Órale, güey, dame un pinche
Yeah,
chiste,
tell a
güey."
joke right now, bro. Like, man, if you really wanna get,
drunk and shit.
yeah, if you really wanna get known, tell the jokes right now,
That's
right
how I
here.
was like, oh shit, you rap, bro?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let me see, bro. Rap
Yeah.
some shit right now.
Right now,
I'm
people
like, what the fuck,
right
bro?
now,
Just
dude.
chilling.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
damn, okay, like, give me a beat, fuck it. Nah.
No, and I think rap is especially the freestyling. I mean, you could do that a little more than stand-up comedy on the spot.
Yeah, that's true.
But but that's how it started. You're just telling raps, just
On the
like
moment
like
type
in the
shit.
cipher and shit. Just,
Yeah.
hey, what to get in and shit like that. But comedy is like you really do need the show to be set up as a comedy show.
Yeah.
You really do
Yeah.
need like a stage, people there understanding they're there to see comedy, and like a microphone.
It's like what happened
Yeah.
to that dude Tony Hinchcliffe on the fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The joke was bad to begin with.
You know what I'm saying? You're like in front of
Yeah.
like people that are like, what the fuck? We're
Yeah,
gonna see some comedy.
yeah, exactly. So
It's not the same fucking thing.
But yeah, like you have no idea how many great comedians, and I'm talking great comedians I've seen do horrible because they put themselves in positions where this is not a comedy show, and the person running it doesn't understand that a comedy show requires certain things.
Okay.
So I have a buddy who's actually here this weekend. His name is Ken Flores, and he's doing really well in his career. Like selling out like comedy clubs all over the country now.
Is he the guy from the roast battles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy that I roasted with,
Oh, okay.
and he's doing really well, dude. And even him, like right before he blew up, they hired him for like a show where it was just like a party, and they were like, "All right, everyone, pay attention, we got a comedian," and even he couldn't win them back, and people were just like, all right, like we're just talking, and so it was crazy,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's just like people not even paying attention.
It's not like set up. For
Yeah.
You're eating fucking dinner. And
Yeah. So it's very hard, but comedians, when you start, bro, you want to take every opportunity. Like, yeah, you got $50 for me right here for 10 minutes. Yeah, let's go, let's do it. Like we're at like in the zoo telling joke to the lions. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like you're just taking any type of opportunity because you're hungry for opportunities and shit like that. So I would say that, but once you get at a certain level, yeah, sometimes some of these shows are not worth it.
When did you like go into the roast battle?
Well, the roast battle, it was I've done like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I seen them all.
okay, I'm not sure, but yeah, I've done like it was just
There's this one.
so there's this it, it, it they always have roast battle shows in Chicago, but this new one, this is the third one that they've tried since I started, was the most successful one. So a lot of comedians they want to do the roast battle show because those clips thousands of people watch them, you know, and
I
so they want to get exposure.
but like the whole battling scene, the roast
Mhm.
battling scene. I think that's just growing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Right.
if it's growing. I think it's at its peak, like right now.
Yeah.
It's been there the last 2 3 years. But yeah, it's
Because
but it's this roast battle show, the one in Chicago, is actually connected to like I don't know the number, but to like at least 10 others in the country.
yeah,
So
because
they're all
there's
helping.
there's a league.
There's a roast battle league. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. I don't know what they call it. Like
RBO. Yeah.
like I never really felt like I was good at roasting,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of friends who I felt like they wanted to get that exposure of getting in clips or whatever. Especially the first two roast battles I did,
Yeah.
and where they were like, "Hey, I can't find anybody to battle. Would you battle with me?" So I did it because of that. So it was like, all right, like I'll
Yeah.
write some
But
jokes.
but bro,
Yeah.
if you were just like going in just to fuck it, like you did fucking good. Like
Oh yeah, and then I won those first two battles. So I was like, my thought process was like, I might be good at this, you know, like. But then I battled Ken, well, I was telling you, and he just destroyed me.
I
Now,
saw that one.
and I was like, oh no, I'm not, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
People like the battle. People like the
Yeah.
battle. But then I battled somebody else after that, and then I was like, nah, I'm not good at this. Like I'm not.
No, because like it also like I noticed that they were like using sort of like the same
Yeah,
angle to you.
yeah.
So I was like, like, oh, okay, so that every time you gonna battle someone, that they're gonna kind of like give you that angle.
Yeah, no, and then it was, you know what? And after that, I've battled like 2 3 other times, but it's all been for the same reason. Like I have no interest in roast battling. The if I do another battle, which I haven't done one since March, it's because the other people that are usually my friends are the ones telling me like, hey, we should roast battle, could be, and more than anything, it's because they want to get on the show.
Yeah.
They want to keep doing the show, so they can think that they might get a chance to get a clip go viral and shit like that. So I'm just like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause-
and I don't like it like when I think about it, but when you're in it, it's fun. You know?
No, yeah.
It's super
And,
fun.
like as me, as a like just a watcher, as a
Yeah.
fan and shit, like when I saw you fucking doing the battle, and I've been watching.
So you've
that
been
shit
watching that even before
since,
you.
like
Okay.
Jeff Ross,
Okay. Yeah.
like when it was in Comedy Central and all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
Like I've been watching it since then. You know what I'm saying? So like when I saw you on that show, like, oh shit, this is.
No, yeah,
it's
and,
crazy.
and the guys are great, dude. The guys that run them are great, and they like me because they know that I'm gonna give whoever I face a good battle. So they like that, right? So like if I was to text them right now, like, hey, I want a roast battle, they would definitely say yes. Like this is our next available date, whatever, come
Yeah.
through. Just tell me.
Have you ever thought of like going out there to Austin and shit?
You know what? There's I've never really traveled much for comedy. I never traveled much in my life ever, except for like I go to Mexico a lot. I used to go to Mexico a lot, right? Other than that, I've only traveled like around this area.
Yeah.
I've definitely that's one of the things where I need to expand a little better to go out to
Like,
different
maybe not like
to different
live out there, but like just go out there.
yeah,
like,
go out there for
and just
5 days, 6 days, and
get on the
and-
you know what I'm saying? Like
and I have the connections like in New York or LA to
go up on
to go
stage
there
and-
for like
yeah.
5 6 days and have the friends to help me get like a couple
where
shows.
to go type of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the connections now because there's a lot of comedians from Chicago that have moved to New York or LA, and Austin has been the scene that has been like the new scene where comedians are going to because of Joe Rogan and his people have been going to the last 2 3 years. That scene's been
It's been
popping.
growing out there.
Yeah, it's been going on. So yeah,
And
so
remember, like when I first met you, I was like, bro, you should get on Kill Tony. And shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're killing on Kill Tony. Like now it's like they moved to Austin and shit. So
yeah. No, they get not only in Austin, but it's like there.
I think a girl from Chicago got on. Kill
There,
Tony.
I don't know the connections. So there, I want to say at this point, I have at least like 4 friends that have been on it.
Also, you know that one chick that got on it.
I don't know that the one chick that's been on it is. I don't know if you're talking about the same one. I think her name is
Cause
Jessica Mesitano.
yeah, I think
But
so.
but this is what they do.
She
So
was in the last uh roast battle for Chicago.
okay,
It
she
was
did
in
it.
Roastman, I think.
She used to do a lot of roast battles for Chicago. But see, so I don't know. But the way Kill Tony works is they have a bucket system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, and they tell me it's like 500 people that sign up and only a certain amount of spots.
Well, the
So
most I seen is like 200 and something, but yeah, now it's like the
yeah,
fucking
and then
odds of getting on
there's
is like
definitely like Joe Rogan and his friends. They definitely have like what's the correct word? Like a subset of comedy. You know, there's people that don't like any other comedians except for like, oh, he's been on the Joe Rogan podcast. Now I know him. You know,
right,
and
right,
stuff
right,
like
right,
that,
right,
right? They
right.
definitely have that popularity now. And so Kill Tony is really popular. Kill Tony is really
Yeah,
popular amongst comedians to get on.
yeah.
Like I say, I have like 3 4 people that I know. A couple of them,
Well, I
like
used to watch that shit
friends.
like
No, a lot of people have told me they
long,
watch Kill
like a
Tony.
while ago, bro. And then, like,
Yeah.
and if when I saw it, like, grow, I was like, oh shit. But like, I was like, man, when you did that show here,
Yeah.
and y'all like, man, he could fucking snap on there, like if so.
Yeah.
But that like you said, it's just exposure and shit, like
No, and I think people don't understand like that also, and I'm sure you get this with rap too. They don't understand how many actual comedians are out there.
mm,
You know, I'm
yeah,
sure they don't understand how many rappers are actually out there. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right,
it's like a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you get on this show? And I'm like, why didn't you get on that show? And I'm like, dude, there's like 1,000 comedians trying to get on that show. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's like, and
This
that's
ain't the first time I
yeah,
heard this
yeah,
shit.
and that's just from the Chicago area and shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many comedians now. There's I'm sure in every craft there's so many people that other people don't know. Like I'm sure there's so many rock bands out there. There's so many, rappers out there, so many comedians out there, whatever. So yeah, it's not that easy. Because there's a lot of people that are out there trying to get the same spots as you.
Right.
So it's like that. Like I said, like it's not just as easy as, for example, this is something some dude told me like 2 weeks ago in Milwaukee. He was like, "You're a funny dude, bro. You're a funny Mexican. You should." He's like, "You should meet Ralph Barbosa and get on his podcast." I'm like, "How do I just do that? How do I just,
Oh, hey,
you
hey,
know?"
what's up, Ryan?
Yeah, hey, I'm a funny
Podcast?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's people that don't understand that Ralph Barbosa knows another 20 funny Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
and it's
even
like,
not only that, but like even he right at the level he's at now,
yeah,
he's not
exactly.
just gonna like, hey, what's up? The
If
fuck?
I get through Ralph Barbosa, it will be through Ken, but then first Ken will have to put me up there. You know what I'm saying? So,
He's gonna be there first.
yeah, of course he would. Exactly. So it's just like, yeah, people think it's that easy.
Yeah,
I swear,
yeah.
this is specifically what he told me. Exactly what
Yeah,
he told me. Like,
and
you
that,
should get on Ralph Barbosa's podcast. Like,
and that goes back to what you were saying, like you're not really a stand-up until you actually put in that fucking work.
until you get up on stage, you start realizing things. You
Right.
know?
Because it's not because most people think they're fucking funny and they're like, yeah, this and that. But you think you're gonna be able to like be funny amongst your friends, and now you're on the fucking Barbosa podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
They
what I'm
make
saying?
that leap. Yeah, well, people make those leaps, and I never get like angry at that or try to be rude to them because I understand that people don't understand these kind of things, But
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely told him like, yeah, sure, like if you could. He's like, give me your number, and I was like, all right, I gave him my number. He was like, and I'm like, you're gonna get me on the podcast? He's like, I'm gonna try. I'm like, how's he gonna try? I have no idea. I have no idea, but hey, if he gets me on it, bro, hey, my respect,
bro. I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah, I don't know,
And then
man.
I'm gonna message him and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I had a dude like that too. He's like, hey, bro, I gotta take you to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, what's gonna happen out there, bro? We go to Hollywood. That's it. Like, bro, if it was that easy,
No, yeah,
I
I
would have
mean-
been in Hollywood.
There's definitely like there's people that are famous that succeed that I think they know how to, or they either they come from like a rich family or a connected family, or they know something, They
Right.
have that information, or they have the right agent, or they have the right person to teach them.
Right, because sometimes you do get lucky. Sometimes you
Or
are
or they get lucky, or they
sometimes
get
you're at the
lucky.
right place at the
Yeah,
right time at the right moment. This fucking dude that knows this other person happens to fucking be
yeah.
there. Now you got their
Yeah, you got a
connection.
connection. Yeah, and but I would say in comedy, and I'm sure also in rap, it's just like if like people would be like, oh, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? Or man, like if I knew how to become famous, I would have done it already. I would have done it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, you would have done. I would have done it years ago. Obviously, I haven't became famous. I don't know how to do it. Like, how do I do it? Post on YouTube, I post on YouTube. Post on TikTok, I post on TikTok.
Right.
Post on Instagram. Like every idea that you give me, you think I haven't thought about that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I've thought about this idea. Of course, I thought about it. Everyone thinks of this
Right.
idea. So there's just people that are their videos for one reason or another hit more. My guy Ken, I think one of the smartest things he did was that he got on TikTok early, bro. Like I'm talking about
Like an early adapter.
no, like early. I'm like talking like yeah, like when soon as TikTok came out, like in 2020, he was posting videos, bro. Videos at that time, since there wasn't a lot of content. Like
Mm.
any little video you would post, bro, would get like 50,000 views. Like it was,
Holy
you
shit.
know what I'm saying? So it was just
Right.
so I think Ken did that really good. Like
Yeah,
he posted early,
that's true though.
and then
That's
a
true.
year or two later, when everyone realizes that oh shit, that's how you got famous through TikTok, and everyone wants to post, then the whole market is flooded with stand-up videos.
Now, right? Like,
Yeah,
but the thing is, like, you do have to be aware of that
yeah, yeah.
algorithm
No, yeah,
shit.
you have to be yeah, and that's
Yeah, which is fucking crazy, right? Like now, like it wasn't like that before.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't have to worry about no algorithms and
no, exactly. Yeah, it
none
was.
of that bullshit. You know, now we're living in like a different like a which makes it in a way better and worse at the same time.
It
Because now you could control your own shit and like you could expose your shit, but are you gonna have that same?
no, yeah. There's good things about it, and there's bad things about it. Of course, there's the thing I would say is that when I started doing comedy in 2014, nobody could have told me, like, hey, in 6 years there's gonna be this new Chinese app called TikTok. So as soon as it gets out, start posting your videos there. You know what I'm saying? People used to tell me, keep writing, keep getting up on stage. The better you get, the more opportunities you have. That's what people used to tell me, right?
Yeah, right.
But nobody ever thought about like, oh shit, Instagram Reels are gonna be popping in 2019, bro. That's when you gotta start putting your shit
Right,
up. You
right,
know, TikTok shit, and we don't know the next thing is gonna come up. You know,
right.
or
Because there might be
yeah,
something coming up
or
next.
look though, bro, there's gonna be a show in 2018, 2019 roast battle that get on it right away, or you know, or get on Kill Tony when it first starts. You know,
Mm.
people didn't tell you to get on Kill Tony until Kill Tony was a
Like more famous,
yeah,
right, right.
exactly. So it's those are the things that like there's a lot of things that people tell you that are yeah they're very obvious now. They weren't very obvious
But
5
in
years ago.
hindsight,
Yeah, in
everything's
hindsight, yeah, they were not very obvious.
2020 type of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same with music too. Like, oh man, you should have done the fucking auto tunes, you know, or you should be like, well, everybody's fucking using
yeah,
that. And oh, you should. So it's like you telling me shit that I already know
yeah.
because we're all seeing the same shit now.
Exactly, exactly.
You know, so
And we all see it when it hits. We don't see the beginnings of it,
yeah, yeah,
and the people who were the beginning of it, a lot of them were actually they just they had a better idea, but a lot of them also just got lucky.
yeah.
That somebody was like, "Hey, you should do this" at that moment, and nobody knew about that at the moment,
Right,
and they
right,
took a risk.
right.
They took a risk, you know.
And that thing about traveling too. Sometimes you do have to get out from
You do the reason you do is that you build connections.
yeah.
You build connections. You know, it was as when people come to like from a different city, and they come here and they'll be like, "Hey, bro, I'm from this city." Let's just say, "Hey, bro, I'm from Pittsburgh, whatever. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh." If you're okay comedian or something like that, but I'm a better comedian, but I don't travel to Pittsburgh, then you use this contact better than me because now you're like, hey, remember me from Chicago? Can I get and stay in your house? And
Yeah.
they go and they stay, and now they have connections in Pittsburgh, and you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you do have those things, but it's also a money thing, bro. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these kids, especially when I started, and even now, a lot of these comedians that I start with, especially here in the city of Chicago, they didn't grow up here, bro. They grew up in some town. They went to some university around here, and then afterwards they moved here. So they're doing, like they're not working 40 hours a week. They might work a little, but their parents still pay like
Right, right.
their stuff, so they have more freedom to travel or to,
That's another thing.
you know what I'm
Like
saying. So
when there's
money,
a little
well, like always,
financial,
like money talks, you know.
yeah, that's true. Because if you're not too worried about fucking paying your shit, like oh, I gotta fix my car, I gotta fix
Yeah,
this, or I gotta pay my fucking rent and all this bullshit. Like if you don't have that many financial, like fucking difficulties, you have more time to fucking create.
of course.
And like
More time to post on it.
creating is the main fucking thing.
No,
That's what like flourishes you. That's what brings you to where you need to be type of shit.
no, and even when I first started posting reels, dude, like I tried to post reels the first time. It took me 7 hours to figure it out because I didn't want to pay for anything. You know, because you go to this website and the website will be like, "We'll give you this, but then we'll give it to you with a watermark. If you don't want the watermark, it's $6.99 a month,
Oh
or if you
man.
don't want this, you know what I'm saying." So it's like if money is not an issue for you, you know.
Yeah, and right, right, and if you have the like, I see what you're saying because if you have the finance, you could just get that fucking
Yeah,
program.
okay, I'll get it. I'll get it.
I don't
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
fucking worry
yeah,
about. I'll
yeah.
cut all these
So
fucking
ten ninety
links.
nine a month, 11.99. So I'll get these three programs that are $30 a month,
Yeah,
I'll get them. So yeah,
that's true. That's
so
true. Like
yeah,
with me, like doing music videos and shit like that. Like for a music video is a lot of money, bro.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Do I see
Or
the
to
videos? They're
make
good quality videos.
to mix a track,
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. So I don't have that type of money. You know what I'm saying? So like now I'm over here fucking learning about that shit. So I see
yeah,
where you coming from on that.
yeah. But I remember the first ever reel that I posted, and it's so cheap now when I see it. Like it's because the first one. Um, it took me like 7 hours to figure out how to do it. And I'm not saying that I'm super good with computers. So earlier, I don't think I'm good with computers, but I'm a millennial, bro. I grew up with computers. I know the basics, you know, like every millennial
It's
does.
like the kids nowadays, bro. They
Yeah,
like 3, 5 years old. They're already like,
yeah,
here,
exactly,
dad.
dude. So it's
What the fuck?
like I'm like I know how to do things on computers, but it's just like, oh man, 7 hours, dude. You know if you don't have any issues where you don't have to work or you don't have to work as hard or your parents provided
Mm.
you with a university education, well, yeah, you have more financial resources, and
And you have more freedom to create.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because you know, when I was getting like advice and shit, like, oh, you need to fucking travel here, travel there. Like, bro, where am I gonna get all that money?
yeah, yeah,
Just to
yeah,
just leave, go to New York. Like, yeah, you need to go to New York. That dude was like, you need to go to Hollywood,
yeah.
and you need to, like, yeah, but you need to have that money
You do need to have
to
that
just
money.
go out there, or either, or you do it and you're fucking homeless out there,
Yeah, well, no, that's what
and now you fucked.
that's what started like the whole like epidemics of homelessness in California, dude. It's just people going
A
out there
lot of people going,
to chase their
yeah,
dreams,
yeah, bro,
and
and the
and and then
taxes
and when
went up.
California got super expensive, and now you got a bunch of homeless people, dude. In California,
That's fucking true.
yeah. So that's what it started because California was a promise for everyone.
It almost seems
No,
like they were capitalizing on people following their dreams, and they're like, all these motherfuckers are gonna come over here and waste their money,
yeah,
and eventually, now you fucking have them, living on the streets and all
no,
that.
I know a bunch of people that have gone to California and have come back. A lot of them were like, no, dude, it's too expensive. And a
Yeah.
lot of them have told me, like, dude, you know what everyone does nowadays? As soon as they get to California, they'll get like a girlfriend like within a week or two, and they'll just live
Move there,
together
yeah.
because it's easier to pay for a one-bedroom apartment with two people, you know? So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
people are basically getting married just to get a one-bedroom apartment, dude.
Just to fucking
Yeah,
follow
and
it.
he was like, yeah, that goes on in California all the time, dude. And I'm like, shit, dude, how do? That's why they have 10
Yeah.
cities and shit. People want to move there.
But like the thing is, and which is crazy about like wanting to follow your dream. Like how much are you fucking willing to give up?
Yeah,
But
that's true. That too.
but you have to also be responsible for what you already have.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if I already have a nice little thing going and I built it, I do want to follow my dreams, but then I also have to be responsible for already built.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's gambles and shit like that. But
No, yeah. Right now, I think thanks to the internet, it's gonna get to a point where you don't have to move anymore
mm,
because you can make it from your own market now. But
mm,
but I don't think we're there just yet. But I think it's gonna get to a point where like before, because the biggest comedy clubs are in New York and in L.A. So when I started, that was the advice of everyone. Like, once you feel like you're good enough, you
Go
gotta
out there.
you gotta go to move. I'm talking about move.
But
Because
New York comics are like it. Well, I don't know because I like the comedy from Chicago too. Like
okay,
I really like the comedy from Chicago.
hmm
I'm from here and shit.
yeah,
It's just it seems like comedy been existing out there a little longer.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why people used to say that like you need to go to New
yeah.
York.
No, and the thing is that back in the days, if you're a comedian, you wanted to go there because all the shows were filmed there, like Conan O'Brien, Jay Leno, whatever. All those shows were there. Plus, like the sitcoms were filmed there.
Yeah.
So if somebody was like, "Hey, I got someone for an audition, and I I I need you to come audition tomorrow for this sitcom. Let's say for Seinfeld, you got to audition for Seinfeld. You had to be there tomorrow. So you
Right.
had to, if you didn't live there, you had to fly there and
Yeah.
shit like that. And plus back in the days they didn't have like email and shit like that or text. So I had to call you or through a phone, and so it was like that you had to live either in LA or New York in that area to be able to make all these moves. Now, like I said, with internet, you can book a whole 5 days from here.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
email people, you can send messages through Messenger, through Instagram, whatever the booker communicates from, and get your date and just get your flight and just go in for 4 or 5 days and come back out.
Right. Right.
You know, to do shows like that. Back in the days, it was harder because of the lack of technology. So you definitely had to move out there.
It's fucking crazy how technology got because I don't know because I'm a little older than you, so I got to see like a lot of more shit, like whatever.
Uh-huh.
But like it's crazy how we went from like fucking phones on the wall to
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, I still remember
to,
from the
to
wall.
little pagers
I
and
mean,
shit.
payphones, dude.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen a payphone in a
I
long.
mean, neither. Dude.
but that's
Pay-
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We went from that to like little pagers to like little fucking things that send texts. Now fucking phones and this and that. Now we're at a fucking time where we like there's even AI and shit.
No, yeah. I remember.
I heard fucking AI is writing jokes and shit.
That's what they're saying. That like the technology is not there yet, but it's gonna come to a point where AI can write as good as humans.
You think not like
Well, it's just
let me ask you this like honestly though, like as a writer and shit, you think AI could really like capture?
well, the thing is that AI has already because there's certainly a format to a joke.
Mm,
Here's a setup. Here's a punchline. Here's a tags.
mm,
So AI can do that.
mm-hmm.
They can do that. They can be like, okay, here's a setup, here's a punchline, here's a tags. What AI cannot do so far is innovate. Like
Right.
let me explain how like if I did first my first album that I did was it was called Mexican Born Chicago Raised, and basically
Go check it out.
80% of my jokes are about being Mexican or being growing up in Chicago. Either one or two, right? Or about Chicago or about being Mexican. So if AI studied that album and they wanted to put up a second album of mine, all AI could do is write jokes about being Mexican and about being from Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So what I artistically, I feel like my second album is completely different than the first one. And if I want to do a third album, which I have planned, I don't know when yet, but when next year or the following year, I want to do an album about history and an album about all my breakups.
Mm.
AI wouldn't have the technology to guess that. They don't have the technology that my
And
next album is gonna be about history or that the next one's gonna be about my breakups because that's not. So they can study my first two albums.
there lies the difference.
Yeah,
Like you could give a computer like a
yeah,
model of language of how shit's written, give them some rules and shit,
exactly,
but it's not gonna have the experience of like human experience, human life.
exactly. So
Like I'm gonna go through some shit y- that you might not be able to go through, or you're gonna go through some shit that I might not be able to go through. But that experience itself, you can't just imagine it, or you can't just like come up with it. Well, in my opinion, you know what I'm
no,
saying? So
exactly, exactly. So that's what AI is missing. I don't know. Like I don't know to the extent of the technology if one day AI can do it, but AI can never copy you. You know,
Right.
you know what I'm saying. So AI, like let's say my third album, I wanted to do it about history, a short one, like a 30-minute album. AI might think I know Oscar does something different every time, so I'm gonna do one about science. So they might be able to do that, like understand that I'm gonna do something different, but they will never be exactly like me.
Yeah.
At least I don't think so. You know,
It could
it,
guess
it,
it.
it can only have your first two works and be like, this is his style, so we can produce an album in that style. You
Right,
know,
but it's not gonna have any nuance because you are going by your experience of
of
the stuff
course,
that you went through. A fucking computer doesn't fucking have a life. So it's
no,
not how the fuck is it gonna go out and experience
because
shit at the bar or meet a girl
yeah,
and be like take her out, go out somewhere, have some fucking fun. You think you're connecting with her, she's connecting with you, y'all having a good time. Next thing you know, it's 3 months later, y'all chilling together. Next thing you know, she's like, you know what, I don't want to do this no
no, and
more.
AI can't have the same.
The fucking computer's not gonna
The
fucking
AI
or
has no feelings or
and
has
if I
or
start
not yet.
seeing fucking computers holding hands, then I'm like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing. We right now AI is something I think still extremely new. Like within the last like 4 or 5 years that I've been hearing AI, I'm sure the technology has been planned since decades before, but it's becoming a reality. But it's still I still haven't seen that, you know, because everything I've seen that they're trying to sue AI for everything, because everything they're trying to sue AI is because they've studied like books and music and everything, and then they ask them like produce a new album from this artist or write a new book that Mark Twain would have wrote or something,
Right, right.
but
It's gonna
obviously,
sound like Mark
yeah, it's
Twain,
gonna sound like Mark Twain, but you never know if Mark Twain would have
but
wrote
it's
that.
not gonna have like his
Yeah,
soul in
exactly,
it.
exactly. So that's where I don't think AI is there yet. I don't know if in 100 years it could get there.
Yeah.
We don't know because there's definitely a lot of
Matter of
people.
fact, now that you're talking about that shit, I heard they even got AI Jesus.
I have no idea what that means. how does it?
When I saw that shit, I was like, AI
Well,
Jesus?
does he write a new Bible or and they copies it from the first two or
Does the
what is
fucking
it?
computer walk on water? What
Oh,
the fuck?
yeah, I have never heard of that AI Jesus.
Yeah, but I heard that's what I heard. I was like, what the fuck? They got AI Jesus now? But yeah, like which is but like like we were talking about like the whole aspect of like a human and shit, like
Yeah, the whole
whatever.
experience. The computer doesn't have the experience of a human. Like
Right,
everything from your
right.
emotions,
The
from
memories, the
exactly.
emotions, like who you are, your spirit. Like that. That's something a computer cannot copy or fucking imitate.
Yeah,
It could imitate like punctuation or the way you fucking speak, and maybe like give it like, oh, sometimes he goes up here and then goes
yeah,
down. It could copy that, but it's not gonna give you that feeling of like, oh, I felt that, I've been there, or I've done that. So which is like comedy in itself. When you're listening to a joke, sometimes the comedian connects with you because you're like, oh yeah, I've been in that fucking situation,
yeah.
and I didn't fucking notice that.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah, yeah, obviously, yeah. You try to make everything relatable. That's what we try to do. You try to people to understand your experience.
Because like, they're saying computers are gonna replace us all.
Yeah, the same thing with Prince artist, which is what
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't necessarily consider myself an artist, but I do understand
Well, no,
comedy
comedy is art.
falls within the
Comedy,
realm of
yeah,
art artistry. Yeah,
comedy is an art for
yeah, but
sure.
yeah, no, for sure. A lot of our people in the industry are very scared that.
Writers mostly.
Yeah, mostly writers because obviously they're saying like if they want to write a TV sitcom or a TV show, well, not they don't exist anymore. Like, well, a Netflix show. No,
Yeah,
they only need to hire the writers for like 1 or 2 episodes, and then
even actors, bro.
yeah, they need to write one.
Because I saw some shit where like they put do this. I want to see a train passing by or some bullshit,
Yeah.
and the fucking thing looked like I was like, what the fuck?
Well,
How does it do that?
well, I know extras were gonna get fucked. Like,
Oh yeah.
like it was like they only had to like tape you once, and then they could use you forever in their movies or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, so instead of you getting paid for every movie that you come out of,
You just getting for
you're just selling your image. So there was a writer strike recently. I think it was a year ago,
yeah,
and I know that was one of the reasons because
yeah,
they're like they only want the extras to come in, film them once, and then they paid them whatever the fee was for that day, and then they could use them forever in any movie that they ever had and stuff like that. So I knew that was about actors, though.
yeah.
Some of the writer
Like,
strike.
but I like in my opinion, like it's gonna take like a long fucking time for AI to ever replace like a comedian and shit.
Yeah,
Because how we were saying
I
earlier,
mean, there's a, I mean, you're right. I like because there's a I don't know if there's a video, but there's something out there now of George Carlin. I don't know if you know who George Carlin
yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yeah. So George Carlin, there's like one of his family members allowed for them AI to write like a set of his jokes,
mm,
and
like in his style.
yeah, like in his style, like
Yeah,
in George Carlin's style. And apparently, and I'm not even talking about artists. I'm just talking about people in regular. They didn't like it. Like they didn't like the jokes. They didn't like nothing.
right.
You know.
Because you
So
can't see. He had like a lot of fucking. He had a point of view,
of course he did. Yeah.
and he was always about like leaving you at at the end of his fucking show. Because like I've seen a few, like two of his specials, like all the way,
Yeah.
and like I've seen like clips of him, and, like
Uh-huh.
another
Yeah.
shit. I seen Dogma and like all the shit that he's been in. But like at the end of his shit, you leave learning something new.
No, yeah, and you leave like this is a show. He knows how to
He
do it.
taught you some shit, but he did it in a way where he made you fucking laugh throughout the whole fucking thing.
No, and even that, it's like that's what AI think would be missing, like that. Like you do a show, you do a certain joke, you're like, I want not only people to laugh, but I want them to leave with this feeling. And
Mm.
like I say, AI, that's what AI is lacking. They're lacking feelings because AI doesn't have a feeling. It's just a
It doesn't know. It probably has like a fucking program. Oh, humans feel sad, happy, whatever,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just a word
But it
thing.
doesn't know how it feels to. Maybe it
Right,
doesn't know
right.
how to provoke that. Maybe in a certain way. So yeah, but I heard it was a failure. That I've never seen it. I've never.
I haven't
But
seen
there's
it.
definitely a lot of comedians that because I'm part of the comedy community. There's definitely a lot of comedians that have definitely shown like that they're scared of what's to come with
Right.
AI.
I do gotta admit that they fucking got me with that Simpsons trailer. I don't know if you
Ah,
seen it,
I've not seen it.
bro. I saw a fucking AI Simpsons trailer with Adam Sandler as fucking Homer,
Okay,
and I don't. And man, fuck you, AI. You fucking got me.
but that's not even AI. That's people using AI. That's
Right. But still, though, bro, that shit looks so real.
no,
I was
no,
like,
and people are taking advantage of it. People are
I'm
definitely
still waiting for the fucking movie, but I know it's fake though.
no, yeah, no, but yeah, there's definitely people trying to take advantage of it. People not. I mean, it's weird nowadays because nowadays people can post pictures and they're fake, and
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
like those fucking things about where they got Putin dancing or some
yeah.
bullshit.
So
Like,
it's a crazy world that's gonna come because I feel like people already have a distrust of things, and now with AI, it's just gonna make the distrust even worse because it's gonna get to a point where like I don't know what to believe anymore, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
so yeah, so AI is gonna cause a lot of problems, not just in the artistic world, but the artistic world is gonna feel it. I feel, but
Well, I think information is gonna suffer.
I mean, it's been suffering. Imagine with AI, it's
Information is gonna fucking suffer, bro. We're not like the way like the processing engine that they have on that shit, like the visuals. It's so fucking good that now it looks almost fucking real, right?
no,
And,
yeah, it's
and
gonna
so imagine how it's gonna be 3 years from now. We're not gonna fucking know who the fuck's telling the truth.
exactly. I mean, it's definitely yeah. AI is definitely gonna cause some problems. But yeah, in the artistic world, there's a lot of people that are worried specifically because of that, because they're definitely going to be affected if they don't need to hire 14 writers for a show, if they only need to hire two,
Yeah,
then there's going to be 12 people that lost their job that
right,
previously could have had a job.
right.
You know,
Which is
and
to me, it's crazy that like um writing a novel or like a novela or like a movie and shit, it seems like AI could do that,
Hmm.
but like, well, what's weird is like even with the song, like I think AI did some Kanye song and shit,
Hmm.
and that motherfucking song was dope as fuck. I heard, it, I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Okay.
But like for some reason, if it's not gonna be able to make a song that you're gonna feel,
Hmm.
or comedy or shit or things like that.
No, but I mean, it's gonna first. It's gonna need Kanye to do songs for them to see what Kanye's actually like. You know, so
Mm,
they're still gonna need the artist at that point where like it's learning.
mm.
You know, it's learning. Like if Kanye had never dropped any albums, how would
Well,
they?
let me ask you
How,
this: would the artist deserve some shit? So
of course, the artist would this.
let's say they say in like 2 years from now you're already big time, you're doing your shit, you're probably in like in a show or some shit or whatever,
Okay, no,
right?
that's
You're
different.
you're doing like big time shows, you're like fucking performing all over the world, and like out of nowhere they do like they tell you, hey, check it out, we're gonna do a AI Oscar
Hmm.
to do stuff that you don't want to fucking do.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, because I have a moral or ethical code about that, I would never accept it for
Mm,
somebody else to write my jokes.
that
You know,
that's dope. Hey, cheers on that, bro.
me. But I'm sure there's people that would that'll be like, shit. Why do I gotta write jokes if it's somebody else will write jokes? You know.
Right.
But those people, at least right now, they would be like ostracized from the community. Like nobody would like try to work with them or anything like that. Right now,
Yeah.
2024. I don't know. In 2044, there might be like, you know what? Everyone is doing AI jokes now. You know what
But
I'm saying?
that
Like,
goes back to money though.
yeah, that does go back to money. It does go. I mean, AI is a thing that's gonna replace a lot of jobs. Like a lot of technology has, but the problem is there's only gonna be a few people that are profiting from it. You know,
Yeah.
it's only gonna be like
Which seems like control too.
it is a form of control. Like if yeah, if
Like
it's
the
like I
the
said,
people
if
who own the AI or who really who's
who have the tech,
programming
yeah, who have the technology to do it, yeah,
to program the AI, they're gonna own like most of the
yeah.
fucking power of whatever the fuck's going on.
No, yeah, no, no. Like I said, like the example I gave earlier. Like if you need, because for comedy, sitcoms, shit like that, you used to need 12, 14 writers at least. And if now you're you don't want to look like a bad person, so you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just hire two, three, and then AI can do the rest or whatever. That's 10, 11 people that are
That lose their
that
fucking
lose their
job.
job.
And not only that, but it's talented people,
Yeah.
bro. Oh shit.
And not only that, but that means the only one profiting from this technology are the very rich that are already very rich. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's always what they want. You know, that's always what they wanted. The power, the control.
Yeah, because channels channels nowadays is so fucking different. Like you you literally make your own channel. Hey, I want to watch a show on Hulu.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna go watch on a
yeah.
show
You have so many
on
options.
Netflix, HBO, whatever the fuck. And now you're creating your own fucking channel. You by the shows that you fucking want to watch,
Yeah.
right? So they don't have control of that anymore.
Mhm.
But now you bring AI. Now you got control of what they're watching because you
Or
remove the writer.
yeah, or what you're yeah, definitely what you're
Let me grab
what you're
a
putting out there.
and that's just like it seems like humans are so fucking susceptible to like following shit
Yeah.
to I think that AI might be smart enough to figure out a way like, oh, all I gotta do is show them this and show them that, and now I got them.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, definitely, yeah. We don't know still what the future of AI holds. I think, like I said, I think it's a very brand new technology that we're dealing with. But yeah, you know,
But
when you,
and like, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I don't, out of the many things that artistic wise,
mhm.
the like some like comedy and like the real music cannot be touched. For some reason, uh, portraits, like people that do art, like pictures and shit
Mhm.
like that, that market could go away.
It could. It definitely could. I think it probably what you're saying. I think it's. I think with the potential AI happen, it could take away every market, but definitely it would take longer for our industries, for music and for comedy, than for portraits, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
It would
definitely.
definitely take longer, but nobody knows the potential. I mean, there's a lot of, and it's not even talking about artistic things. There's people talking about like AI could be the end of like humanity and shit like that, like. But then,
Well,
but
have you seen the fucking robots?
yeah, so well, nobody knows the potential AI yet. I mean, I hope that the governments of not only the United States but of all of the world understand how to put limits on it until we understand it's safe enough.
When was the last time you went to Mexico?
When was the last time I went to Mexico? 2023, last year.
2023. How was it out
It's well, it depends, bro. Like where I'm from, when I went, it's not so bad. When you're here, you hear all the bad things.
there? Mm-hmm.
As soon as I left, like they killed some dude, and so the whole town had to shut down because it was like we can't let these people come in anymore and kill people and stuff like that. So it's there's a lot of violence in Mexico, bro. There's a lot of
That I've been hearing the same thing. Like
yeah,
from
but
my
like
people back
you know
back home.
what, the Mexican government does a really good job in protecting tourist places. I think at least, and the Mexican cartels even.
But isn't that fucked up though?
Yeah, and even the Mexican cartel, even they know like, hey, it's December. People from the United States are coming.
Like, hey, wait, no mama, just
December,
let them party and shit.
let them spend their money. Because they're the ones that are gonna buy all.
That's
You
fucking
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? So
They're gonna buy all the drugs. They're gonna buy all
like there's a lot of people in the United States that thinks like, no, I'm from the United States. They're gonna kidnap me. They're not gonna kidnap people. They want you to spend all your money though. That's true.
Yeah, they want you to go out there and spend your
Yeah,
money.
they might like they might see you from here. They'll be like, hey man, like this is like 10 pesos, and they might tell you, hey, it's 15 pesos just because they can tell that you're from here,
You
right?
got the money.
Yeah, so they might tell you some shit like that.
But
But
like I think it's fucked up though. Like
no, yeah, but it's because
like it's fucked up that like, oh, our tourist spots there those spots are protected. When you go into the fucking pueblo,
no, yeah,
you
no,
better
yeah.
fucking watch out,
No,
motherfucker.
yeah, and especially if you have friendships, family members out in the places where you're from. I'm not 100% sure where you're from,
Yeah.
but
No, I'm from Jalisco.
Care for Jalisco.
Yeah.
But yeah, before you go, check in with them. Like, hey, should I
What's
go?
going on? Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. And the people in Mexico can tell you better than the people here, because the people here, they just have fear. So they'll be like, I'm not going there. They just killed this dude last month. Well, you know why they killed
It's
that dude?
crazy
Because
because
that
people don't
motherfucker was selling
understand.
drugs and without their permission. You know what I'm saying? So it's
But people don't understand that shit though, bro.
yeah,
They're like, oh, why don't you just fucking go? I'm like,
yeah.
nah, it's not that easy now. Like nowadays, it's not as
No,
easy as like,
I could tell you, I'm Richard's cousin. I'm from Guerrero.
yeah, yeah.
So where I'm from, I could tell you that,
Shout out.
yeah, shout out to Guerrero, Cocoyula, where we're from. Like,
Hmm.
I've been there many times, and I only been robbed once, and you know who robbed me? A police officer. A police officer. That's the one who robbed me, bro.
Oh shit.
And I'm telling you that I went from 2010 to 2023. I must have gone at least 15, 16 times, bro.
Oh
And
shit.
a couple of those
That's
times,
funny,
a couple of those times, I only stood there. I stood there like for a month and a half, and even once I stood there for 2 months, and no one has ever robbed me in the town where I'm from. They have
You,
never
you saw
robbed me.
you saw the sirens or like,
No,
I'm good.
no, it was just like it was like They have what they call over there toque de queda, which is what do they call it out here? The name escapes me. Like
Toque de queda, like a stop.
yeah, like you have to go in at a certain time at your house.
Right.
But I
Like
didn't
a
know about it.
curfew type of
A
shit.
curfew. There you go. That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
So they had a curfew that I didn't know about, bro. So I'm right here with one of my friends. We're flirting with these girls. No, nothing happened with the girls. We just took them home, but it was late, bro. It was like the curfew was
It
like
was
at
past the curfew.
yeah, just past the curfew, like half an hour more than the curfew. We took those girls home and lived in different places. We walked them there, both of them, and then me and my guy were like, "Oh, let's go get some beers and go back to my house, right?" So that's what we did. And the police came, so I was still like, "Oh, the police! Like, we ain't doing shit, you know? Like, we're not doing
I'm
anything
good.
wrong." No, they pulled out right away. They're like, "You guys are past the curfew." I'm like, "Dude, I just got here. I didn't know there was. Nobody told me there was. Nobody told me that. Hey, there's a curfew, you know? Like,
That's fucked.
no." And this is a small town where everyone, nobody robs each other in that town because they all know each other. Like if you
Everybody's family pretty much.
oh yeah, or everybody knows like, oh, that guy, yeah, he's the son of this guy. So why would you rob? You know, they already know who you are. You know. So and it was like, yeah, and then the cops was like, yeah, we gotta put you in jail unless you give us this amount of money. It wasn't that much. It was like 400 pesos, right? At the time,
How much is that in?
like $20. It was like,
Wow, 400 pesos?
yeah.
Holy shit.
So I was like,
Damn, the fucking peso ain't worth shit.
it's like worth 20, bro. It's worth 20.
400 is 400.
Yeah, there you go.
Only 20 fucking dollars?
Only $20. Yeah, so I gave them the money. And they let us go. That's it. That's all it took. And I have to say, in my town, in my state, in Guerrero.
All right, so we're back. We're talking about the motherfucking how it is in the pueblos and shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, that's my one story of in my town in Guerrero. That's the only time I've been robbed by the police.
Which is
It's
that's
the-
just funny, bro.
Yeah,
Like, that's
the cartels there, or whatever you call them, narcos there, whatever you call them, bro. They've been real nice about like they don't, especially there, like they're not gonna mess with you unless you do something dumb. But like for example, they sell drugs in the town. If they find out you're buying drugs out of town,
then you're like,
you know,
what the
then yeah,
fuck?
they're not gonna like that, you know,
Right.
because they sell drugs, so like it's shit like that. So it's like unless you or you get into a fight with them like that, they're not gonna. And even for those things, they wouldn't kill you, you know. It's
I
like
don't know if I want to get into a fight with a person.
like even in those things, they would just like beat you up and
Just like,
yeah, you do it again, we kill you, stuff like that. Like, but
Couple slaps,
but they are the ones in charge. They are the
Right,
ones in
right.
charge. There's no doubt that when the police was there, the police they robbed a lot of people.
they were
So-
fucking scared.
so
of
so
them.
so the police got kicked out of my town.
What the fuck?
Like the people asked for them. Like we don't want the police car because there was only one police car by the way. And but
What
but,
the
but I don't know if you know how the police cars look in Mexico. Like they don't look like they look here, right? Like
Nah.
they have the two people in the front, but then they have like a big like it's kind of like a truck. You know, they have people
Oh, okay, yeah,
sitting
yeah,
in the back. So it's like 6, 7
Like a
police.
pickup truck and shit?
Yeah, like a pickup truck. So it's a little it looks kind of like that. Policía Municipal is called, and they were there for like 4 months, and apparently like they were like trying to get money from people like every night and with shit like that. So like so the police, there's no police presence where I'm from. They have like a local people that defend the town, but they don't have the weaponry to fight these guys. So
Well, they.
so they're not doing anything for you, you know.
Right.
But like the narcos themselves, I'm not saying they're good people because they most certainly are not. They're not. They're not gonna do anything to you unless you're acting stupid, bro. They're not, you know what I'm saying? At least where I'm from, like,
Yeah, I haven't been out there, so
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't even speak on it and shit.
yeah. Nah, unless you're acting stupid, they're not gonna do anything to you. Like, there's a lot of them, for example, that don't like people fighting just because it causes commotion. So if they hear that you were fighting with this person and you started it, the next day they call them tablazos over there where I'm from, where they basically just
Tablazos?
they basically just they whoop you like a little kid with like una tabla and they hit your
Holy
ass like
shit.
20, 25 times.
Like a 2x4.
Yeah, like a two.
Holy shit.
But that's just
Bro.
to like teach you a lesson, like you know what I'm saying, like.
Well, thanks for fucking scaring me, bro. 'cause I'm not gonna.
Don't go out there and fight, bro.
I'm not going
I don't-
out there.
I don't know how it's like in Jalisco. I've never been. I'm
They
actually
say it's even worse.
I'm actually going there for New Year's.
Shit.
But I'm going to the big city. So yeah,
well,
I'm not going to the pueblos, bro. I'm not going to the pueblos.
Hey man, but like I've been fucking. I had a lot of fun with you
Yeah.
today, bro. Like for real, like man, you put me on on like on a lot of shit. Like
Uh-huh.
especially like the underground shit that you were telling me about, like how it is in like the comedy scene and all
Yeah.
that shit. And like, bro, you like I really have been enjoying all this shit, and like we bringing this to an end real quick. You know, every time I'm gonna bring a guest,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna ask them to do something, you know, to show off their talent a little bit.
Okay, man.
So like, if you could give us something before. By the way, I hope you guys been enjoying this show. This show has been brought to you by Tire and Wheel Connection, uh, panoramicimages.com, and I hope you guys been enjoying my boy right here, Oscar. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, you if you could like give us a little something. Once he's done giving us something, I'm gonna do a little freestyle to end the show, and so
Just a little joke. Okay,
anything you want
man.
to do, anything you want to leave them with, just give it to them.
It's weird. It is weird. Like I said, it is really weird to do
Yeah.
jokes with no audience and stuff like that. This is harder than to do it with an audience in front.
I get it. I get it.
No, man. I mean, I'll I'm a driver. The thing I hate the most about driving is when you're the car in front of a red light and then the light turns green and the car behind you doesn't even give you 1 second and they start beeping at you, right? Like, don't you hate that shit? I'm always like, dude, like, let me close my Facebook up first, right? Like, like my friend just posted a picture. Let me hit like on that shit, bro. Like, I'm always like, dude, like, let me take one last sip of my beer before I move, right? Like, it's delicious summer shandy. We only get it 11 months out of the year. Like, I don't care if you are a police car, right? Like, that's not my problem. Like, I'm not moving right now. That's it, man. That's what I open with joke that just says.
Oh
All right,
man,
man. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
that's fucking gold right there, bro. That's fucking gold. And I hope you guys appreciate it. I'm gonna do the ending freestyle real quick. We're gonna end it on this. Oh man, you can't fucking hear it. Fuck it. Uh, the fucking thing is not working, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick freestyle. We're gonna end it like this. El pedo es un aire ligero que sale del agujero. Your girl's a kawama. My girl is a modelo. Shit, we're drinking Heineken. I can't fucking rhyme again. I hope y'all fucking liking this. I don't know, but I'm sending it straight to you two, straight to things. I don't know, don't need no championship ring. I got my boy telling y'all jokes, but we fucking coming through, spinning around like some spokes. I'ma finish this real quick. P.O.T. That's how we did. Yeah, we're acting like little kids having fun. That's what we did. Hopefully y'all like the episode. Hopefully y'all like it some more. Press the like and the subscribe. Do this shit another time. P.O.T. podcast. Let's go. Yeah. Thank y'all for fucking tuning in. That's the end of the show. Go follow my boy, Oscar Cuchillo Carvajal.
Oscar got jokes on TikTok and Instagram.
Give him all your links.
That-
You got any shows coming up?
When's this coming out?
Uh, maybe Monday.
Monday. Okay. After Monday, I have a few shows. I have a. Let me try to remember. I fucking forgot. Dude. The 19th, I'm gonna be at a casino in Tinley Park.
Oh, shit.
I didn't even know they had a casino in Tinley Park, bro. Somebody told me.
Hey,
Yeah,
I didn't even
I'm
know that
opening
either.
up. I'm doing 20 minutes at the beginning. The 20th, I'm at Rockford. So if you guys don't live in Rockford, probably a long drive.
I'm a Rockford
The
people.
21st, I'm at Zany's Old Town. There, I'm just doing the short, so like 8-10 minutes, but those are always good shows. I think it's at 9. And then the 27th is the last show I'm doing this year and it's at the Comedy Plex, the club I was telling you about earlier. I'm
Ooh.
doing 20 minutes there too at the Comedy Plex.
Ooh, you guys gotta
Yeah,
go fucking
Oak
check
Park.
that one out. And before we leave, are you gonna go onto the roast battle again?
If somebody asks me to be in it, I will. But if not, that it comes from me, I'm not gonna be in it right now.
Hey,
Not right now, at least.
do me a favor, y'all, POT heads. Go check out the fucking rap, like the roast battles he's been on. Leave a comment if you think he should keep doing this shit. And thank everyone for fucking tuning in. Thank y'all if you still fucking listening. And I appreciate you. Go follow him. Go follow him everywhere because he's gonna be a little too big to fucking come back to this podcast soon. So thanks, man.
No,
Appreciate it,
I
bro.
appreciate you having me on. Yeah.
All right, thanks. POT, baby.